The beeping of hospital machines has become the soundtrack of my life. 3 weeks, 4 days, and roughly 16 hours since the accident that put my husband in a coma. I've memorized every crack in the ceiling tiles above his bed, counted each rise and fall of his chest, whispered thousands of promises into the sterile air between us. My name is Sophia, and until last month, I thought I knew what heartbreak felt like. I was wrong. Mrs. Norris? A nurse gently touched my shoulder. Your family is here to see you. I didn't want to leave Lane's side, but my mother had been insisting on this family meeting for days. With one last squeeze of Lane's hand, I followed the nurse out to the waiting area where they stood in formation like a firing squad. Mother, father, my brother Duncan, and his wife Michaela, perfectly coiffed and coordinated as always. Darling, Mother's voice carried that familiar chill. We need to discuss arrangements. I nodded, following them to a private consultation room. The fluorescent lights made everyone look sickly, though somehow Michaela managed to maintain her polished gleam. Sophia, Michaela started, pulling an envelope from her designer bag. We've been talking, and we think it's best if you move out of the cottage. The words didn't register at first. What? The family needs that property, Duncan chimed in, not quite meeting my eyes. For business purposes. But that's our home. Lane and I... Lane isn't going anywhere, Mother cut in. And frankly, you're becoming a burden. The medical bills, the constant drama. It's affecting the family's image. I stared at them, these people who shared my blood, as Michaela slid the eviction notice across the table with perfectly manicured fingers. You have 30 days, she said, almost smugly. We've already lined up buyers. Father? I turned to him desperately. Please. He adjusted his tie, eyes on his phone. It's a business decision, Sophia. Nothing personal. Nothing personal? My voice cracked. My husband is fighting for his life, and you're throwing me out of my home? Oh, spare us the theatrics, Michaela sighed. We all know Lane was never really one of us. And neither were you, if we're being honest. The room spun slightly. Through the glass walls, I could see nurses and doctors rushing past, saving lives while my family systematically destroyed mine. What exactly do I contribute? I asked quietly, remembering Mother's constant criticism. Is that what you're thinking, Mother? That I'm useless? Well, Mother's lips twisted into a practiced smile. You've never been particularly essential to the family's success. I gathered my things slowly, methodically, feeling their impatient stares. As I reached the door, Michaela called out, "Don't forget, 30 days." I walked back to Lane's room on autopilot, sinking into the chair beside his bed. My fingers found the photograph I kept in my pocket, us on our wedding day, happy and oblivious to what was coming. My phone felt heavy in my hand as I dialed a number I hadn't used in months. Clara? It's Sophia. I took a deep breath, watching Lane's peaceful face. Remember that contingency plan we discussed? Yes. It's time. Are you sure? Clara's voice was careful, professional. Once we start this, there's no going back. I thought of Michaela's smirk, Mother's cold dismissal, Father's indifference, and Duncan's betrayal. My hand found Lane's again, squeezing gently. Pull everything, I whispered. Every loan, every credit line, every single thread holding their empire together. End them. It'll take a few days to set everything in motion, Clara replied. The damage will be extensive. Good. I hung up, leaning forward to kiss Lane's forehead. I'm sorry it's come to this, my love. But they forgot one very important thing about me. The machines kept beeping their steady rhythm as darkness fell outside. In the distance, I could hear my family's voices echoing down the corridor, probably congratulating themselves on handling the situation so efficiently. They had no idea that their precious family empire was built on loans I'd secretly secured with my inheritance. The one my grandmother left me, the one they never knew about. They had no idea that their perfect, polished world was about to shatter. I settled back in my chair, finally allowing myself a small smile. They forgot to ask where all their money really came from. The memory of my first family gala still burns like acid. I was 16, standing in our marble foyer, while Mother fussed over Duncan's tie. "Sophia, for heaven's sake, stand up straight," she snapped, not even looking my way. "And do try to say something intelligent when the Whitman boy approaches you." I remember catching my reflection in the mirror. Pale blue dress, carefully curled hair, eyes already dulled by resignation. That was the night I learned what I meant to them. "She's the backup plan," I overheard Mother telling Father later that evening. "If Duncan's deals fall through, we can always marry her off to secure the Whitman merger." 10 years later, I met Lane at a coffee shop. He was grading papers, a high school English teacher with ink-stained fingers and kind eyes. When he smiled, the world felt warmer. "You're Abraham Harvey's daughter?" he'd asked after our third date, genuinely surprised. "You seem so normal," I laughed. "Disappointed?" "Relieved," he'd said, taking my hand. "I was worried you'd be like the rest of them." The memory dissolves as I fold another sweater into my suitcase. Rose, my cousin, stands in the doorway of the cottage, watching me pack. "You can stay as long as you need," she says softly. "My guest room is yours." "Thanks, Rose." I manage a smile. "You're taking a risk, you know. They won't like you helping me." She shrugs. "They never liked me anyway. Too poor, too honest, too everything they're not." My phone buzzes. Another message from Michaela. "Don't forget to leave the keys with security." "I still can't believe they're doing this," Rose mutters, reading over my shoulder. "Especially after everything you've done for them. If she only knew." The family's miraculous financial recovery 5 years ago. That was me, quietly arranging loans through Clara. The prestigious business school Duncan attended, funded by my grandmother's trust. The very cottage they're evicting me from. I bought it through a shell company and let them think it was family property. "Remember Duncan's wedding?" Rose asks, helping me wrap photo frames. "When Michaela demanded that vintage champagne?" I laugh bitterly. "The one that cost more than most people's cars?" "Yeah, I remember." "You were the only one who noticed she was pregnant," Rose continues. "Before the wedding, I mean. The way she wouldn't drink at the engagement party." Something clicks in my mind. I set down the frame I'm holding, remembering Michaela's strange behavior those weeks before she and Duncan announced their engagement. My phone rings again. "Clara." "It's done," she says without preamble. "I've flagged all the irregularities in their company finances. The audit team will find them by morning. Thank you." I pause. An idea forming. "Clara, can you get me Lexi's number?" "Duncan's ex?" "Lexi Garcia?" "Sure. But why?" "Just a hunch." I end the call, turning to Rose. "Do you remember when exactly Michaela started dating Duncan?" Rose frowns. "Right after he broke up with Lexi, I think. Michaela was already working at the company." I pull out my laptop, fingers flying over the keys. Within minutes, I've drafted an email to Mauricio, the family company's CFO. "Dear Mr. Jenkins, an anonymous source has evidence of significant discrepancies in the company's secured credit lines. Particularly concerning are the loans taken out in 2018, coinciding with certain personal events within the Harvey family. The SEC might be interested in the timing." "What are you doing?" Rose asks, peering over my shoulder. "Pulling threads," I reply, hitting send. Sometimes the best way to unravel a sweater is to find the right string. My phone lights up with a text from an unknown number. "Mrs. Norris, this is Lexi. Clara said you wanted to talk about Michaela and Duncan." I smile, remembering Michaela's smug face as she handed me the eviction notice. "Oh yes," I type back. "I think we have a lot to discuss." Rose watches me, understanding dawning in her eyes. Sophia, what exactly are you planning? I look around the cottage one last time. The home Lane and I made together. The place they're taking from us. Justice, I say quietly. Or maybe revenge. Sometimes they're the same thing. My phone buzzes again. Mauricio, responding to my anonymous email. Who is this? How do you know about those loans? I don't answer. Instead, I send another text to Lexi. Coffee tomorrow? I have some questions about what really happened before Duncan's wedding. You have no idea how long I've waited for someone to ask, comes her immediate reply. Rose's guest room is small but peaceful, worlds away from the chaos unfolding across town. I'm sipping coffee when my phone lights up with Clara's call. Turn on the financial news, she says without greeting. Channel 8. I flip on the TV just in time to see the headline, Harvey Industries faces credit crisis. Major banks recall loans. The reporter's voice is clinical. Sources indicate multiple irregularities in the company's financial statements, leading to an immediate recall of over $50 million in credit lines. My phone explodes with notifications. First, Mother. Emergency family meeting. Now. Then Duncan. What the hell is happening? Michaela. Where are you? Answer your phone. I silence them all, watching Father's face flash across the screen as he pushes past reporters outside the company building. For once, his perfect composure is cracking. How bad is it? I ask Clara. Bad, she replies, satisfaction evident in her voice. The banks are demanding immediate repayment. Your father's trying to leverage other assets, but those assets don't exist, I finish, because they were all backed by my credit lines. My phone rings again. Lexi. Are you watching this? It's beautiful. You should see what's coming next, I tell her. Are you still willing to go on record about what you know? Honey, I've been waiting 3 years to tell this story. A text from Rose interrupts. Michaela's hosting some charity gala tonight, still playing pretend while everything burns. I check social media. Sure enough, Michaela's posted photos of elaborate flower arrangements and place settings. An evening of excellence, she's dubbed it. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. Clara sends me a secure link to the company's internal emails. I watch in real time as panic spreads. Mauricio to Father. The banks are demanding documentation we don't have. Father to Duncan. Fix this. Now. Duncan to multiple contacts. Need emergency bridge funding. We'll pay premium rates. Michaela to Duncan. Don't you dare let this ruin my gala. Should we move up the timeline? Clara asks. I think of Lane, still lying in that hospital bed. No. Let them sweat a little longer. Let Michaela have her party. Around noon, Rose sends me a video clip. Father arriving at his club for lunch, being turned away at the door. His membership has been suspended due to financial concerns. By 3, Mother's trying a different approach. Darling, I know we've had our differences, but family must stand together in crisis. I type back, I thought I wasn't essential to the family's success. No response. At 6, I drive past the venue where Michaela's gala is starting. Through the windows, I can see her holding court in a designer gown, laughing as if her world isn't crumbling. Duncan stands beside her, but his smile is strained as he checks his phone every few seconds. Time for phase 2, I tell Clara. Within minutes, every financial news outlet receives an anonymous tip about potential fraud in Harvey Industries books. The timing is perfect, right as Michaela's rising to give her speech. I park across the street, watching through the windows as servers circulate with champagne. A notification pops up. The first news site has published the fraud allegations. Then another, and another. Through the glass, I see Duncan's face go pale as he reads his phone. He grabs Michaela's arm, whispering something urgent. She shakes him off, continuing her speech about family legacy and enduring values. That's when Lexi's evidence hits the social circles. Private messages to select society gossips about the real story behind Duncan and Michaela's hasty marriage. Photos, bank transfers, medical records. I watch Michaela's face as her phone starts buzzing. Watch her perfect mask slip as she reads the incoming messages. Watch her rush from the podium, Duncan following in panic. "How's the view?" Lexi asks, calling again. "Like watching dominoes fall," I reply. "Wait for it," she says. 3, 2, 1. Right on cue, Michaela bursts out of the venue's side door, mascara running, Duncan right behind her. Their argument carries across the quiet street. "You promised you'd handled this," she screams at him. "I thought I did. How was I supposed to know—" "Know what? That your psycho ex would keep evidence? That the company was built on sand? That your pathetic sister would—" She stops suddenly, staring straight at my car. Even from here, I can see the moment she realizes, the moment she understands who's behind it all. I start my engine as Michaela takes a step toward me, her designer heels clicking on pavement. But before she reaches me, Duncan grabs her arm, spinning her around to face him. The last thing I see in my rearview mirror is Michaela jerking away from him, her scream echoing through the night air. Then silence. I smile, typing a quick message to Clara. "Ready for phase 3? The coffee shop where I meet Lexi is far from my family's usual haunts. She arrives wearing oversized sunglasses and carrying a thick manila envelope. "I've been waiting 3 years to do this," she says, sliding into the booth. "You have no idea how hard it was keeping quiet." "Tell me everything," I say, pushing a coffee toward her. Lexi removes her sunglasses, revealing tired eyes. "I was pregnant when Duncan left me." "Did you know that?" I shake my head, though pieces are starting to fit together. "Michaela knew. She was working as your father's executive assistant then." Lexi's fingers drum against the envelope. 2 weeks after I told Duncan about the baby, I had a miscarriage. The stress, the doctor said. But here's the thing. Michaela was at the same hospital that day. She opens the envelope, spreading photos across the table. Hospital records, bank statements, text messages. Michaela was pregnant too, Lexi continues. But not with Duncan's baby. She'd been seeing some investor behind everyone's back. When she found out about my pregnancy, she saw her chance. My hands shake as I pick up a bank statement. A large transfer from Michaela to someone named Marcus, dated just before her engagement to Duncan. "She paid the real father to disappear," Lexi explains. "Then she worked fast, got Duncan drunk at the company Christmas party, staged a scene in his office the next morning so everyone would think they'd slept together. 2 weeks later, surprise! She's pregnant with the Harvey heir." "Did Duncan ever suspect?" Lexi laughs bitterly. "Duncan sees what he wants to see. But I kept everything. Every message, every document. Even the DNA test I had done when her baby was born." My phone buzzes. Clara sending updates about the company's spiraling stock price. I silence it, focusing on Lexi. "Why now?" I ask. "Why help me?" Because Michaela didn't just steal my life, she destroyed it. Those rumors about me being unstable, about stalking Duncan, all her. I lost my job, my reputation, had to move cities. Lexi's eyes harden. Now it's her turn. I gather the documents, taking photos with my phone. "What do you want in return?" "Just make her hurt, like she hurt me." Back at Rose's house, I draft an email to Michaela from an anonymous account, attaching one photo of the DNA test. The subject line reads, "Should we tell Duncan the truth about his son?" Her response comes within minutes. "Who is this? What do you want?" I send back, "Meet me. Alone. The old boathouse. 8 p.m. The boathouse sits on the edge of the family estate, rarely used now." I arrive early, watching Michaela's Mercedes pull up precisely at 8. She's still wearing her power suit, but her usual confidence seems brittle. "Show yourself," she calls out, voice echoing. I step from the shadows. "Hello, Michaela." She freezes. You? Surprised? I move closer. Did you think I was really as useless as you told everyone? What do you want? Her voice wavers slightly. I hold up my phone, showing her Lexi's evidence. I want you to understand something. Every loan, every credit line holding up Father's company, they're mine. I arranged them all through shell companies years ago, and now I'm calling them in. You're lying, she whispers, but I see the fear in her eyes. Am I? Check your phone. The banks should be sending their final notices right about now. Her phone chimes on cue. I watch her face drain of color as she reads. You can't do this, she says. The company, the family. Like you couldn't throw me out of my home while my husband was in a coma? I step closer. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign over your shares in the company to me. You're going to leave tonight. Or tomorrow. Everyone sees these documents. Duncan will never believe. Duncan? I laugh. Duncan's about to have bigger problems. The SEC is very interested in certain transactions he's been hiding. Michaela's composure cracks. Please, I'll lose everything. Like I lost everything? Like Lexi lost everything? I turn to leave, then pause. Oh, and Michaela? You have 1 hour to decide. After that, these documents go public. You bitch, she snarls, suddenly lunging forward. You think you can threaten me? I sidestep easily, watching her stumble. I'm not threatening you. I'm destroying you. There's a difference. Her scream of rage follows me into the night. By the time I reach my car, my phone is buzzing with notifications. Michaela's calling Duncan. Good. Let them tear each other apart. I text Clara. It's done. Release the SEC documents. Her response is immediate. With pleasure. The night air feels cleaner somehow as I drive away, leaving Michaela's world burning behind me. Phase 3 is complete. Now for the finale. Michaela disappears the next morning. Her Instagram goes dark, her phone disconnected. The society pages explode with speculation. But I know better. She's running. I'm at the hospital with Lane when the news breaks about Duncan. The TV in the waiting room blares the headline, Harvey Industries executive under investigation for massive fraud. The SEC has uncovered evidence of systematic embezzlement, the reporter announces. Sources say the amount could exceed $30 million. My phone rings. It's Mauricio, the CFO. After 3 weeks of ignoring his calls, I finally answer. Where is everyone? He sounds panicked. Your father isn't answering. Duncan's office is empty, and the SEC is going through our files. Sounds stressful, I reply calmly. Maybe check the Cayman accounts Duncan set up last year? Silence. Then, how do you know about those? I know everything, Mauricio. Every fake invoice, every hidden transfer. Did you really think nobody was watching? He starts breathing heavily. Listen, I can explain. Save it for the investigators. I hang up, turning back to Lane. His peaceful face contrasts sharply with the chaos unfolding across town. Rose bursts in around noon. Have you seen the news? Duncan's face is everywhere. And father? They say he collapsed at the office. Heart attack? I ask, not looking up from my book. Panic attack. The board called an emergency meeting. They're voting to remove him as CEO. My phone buzzes with a text from Clara. SEC just froze all company accounts. It's happening. I squeeze Lane's hand. I wish you could see this, love. Everything's falling apart, just like we planned. Rose paces the room. Sophia, did you do all this? How? Before I can answer, the door flies open. Duncan stands there, disheveled, eyes wild. You, he snarls. This is your doing, isn't it? I stand slowly, positioning myself between him and Lane's bed. Hello, brother. Rough day? They're saying I stole millions, that I committed fraud. He advances, fists clenched. Fix this. Now. Or what? I step closer. You'll throw me out of another house? Destroy another life? You don't understand. His voice cracks. They're going to arrest me. Actually, arrest me? Like they arrested Marcus? I watch his face contort in confusion. Oh, sorry, you wouldn't know him. He's your son's real father. Duncan stumbles back like I've slapped him. What? Ask Michaela. Oh, wait, you can't. She's gone. Just like all your money. He grabs my arm, fingers digging in. You're lying. Security, Rose calls out, backing toward the door. Everything you took from me, I say quietly, holding his gaze. I'm taking back tenfold. The company, the reputation, the money. It's all gone, Duncan. And you did it to yourself. Hospital security arrives, dragging him away as he screams threats. Through the window, I watch them load him into a police car waiting outside. My phone lights up. Mother calling. Again, again, again. Finally, I answer. Yes? What have you done? She whispers. The house. They're seizing the house. Terrible when someone takes your home, isn't it? We're your family. No, I reply softly. You're just people who share my DNA. There's a difference. I hang up as Clara sends another update. FBI just entered Harvey Industries headquarters. Full raid in progress. Rose stares at me in awe. How long have you been planning this? Since the day they told me I wasn't essential to the family's success. I sit back beside Lane, taking his hand. Turns out I was the only thing keeping them successful. My phone pings with a news alert. Breaking. Harvey Industries CEO Abraham Harvey, detained for questioning. Through the hospital window, I can see reporters gathering, hungry for the story of the decade. How one of the city's most prominent families imploded overnight. What happens now? Rose asks. Now? I smile, feeling Lane's fingers twitch slightly in mine. The first movement in weeks. Now we watch them burn. A final text comes through from Clara. Just got word. Michaela was spotted at the airport. Private flight to the Bahamas. Let her run, I murmur. There's nowhere left to hide. The machine's monitoring Lane beeps steadily as the sun sets, casting long shadows across his face. In the distance, I can hear sirens heading toward the family estate. Everything is falling exactly as planned. And this is only the beginning. The knock on Rose's door comes at midnight. Through the peephole, I see Michaela, mascara smeared, designer clothes wrinkled, looking nothing like the polished socialite who evicted me weeks ago. Please, she whispers when I open the door. I have nowhere else to go. I let her stand there for a long moment before stepping aside. She slumps onto Rose's couch, a broken version of her former self. They froze all the accounts, she says. My cards are declined. The Bahamas plan? I couldn't even buy a ticket. Karma's interesting that way. She looks up, eyes suddenly sharp despite her disheveled appearance. Duncan set me up, used me as the face of his fraud, made me sign things. I didn't know. Like you didn't know about Marcus? I interrupt. Or the real father of your child? The color drains from her face. How? Lexi kept receipts, all of them. I sit across from her. The hospital records, the payoff, everything. I had no choice, she whispers. The company was failing. Duncan promised he could save it if he had an heir and a wife who understood business. So you trapped him, destroyed Lexi's life, and thought nobody would ever know? Tears streak her expensive makeup. What are you going to do? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. Rose. Turn on the news now. The TV flickers to life showing Duncan being led out of the company building in handcuffs. Father stands in the background, ashen-faced, as reporters shout questions. Mr. Harvey, did you know about your son's embezzlement? Is it true the company was operating on fraudulent loans? What about the allegations of insider trading? Michaela watches, trembling. They're saying it's hundreds of millions. $547 million to be exact, I correct her. Plus interest. Her head snaps up. How do you know the exact amount? Because every penny of it was mine. Understanding dawns in her eyes. The loans, the credit lines, it was all you? My grandmother left me everything. The fortune father thought he'd lost? She gave it to me in secret, knowing exactly what kind of man he was. Michaela's phone rings, Duncan's name flashing on the screen. She answers on speaker. Where are you? He sounds desperate. They're saying things about the baby, about us. Sophia knows. I'm with her now, Michaela replies quietly. What? Don't tell her anything. She's behind all this. The SEC, the fraud investigation, everything. I take the phone. Hello, brother. Having a rough night? You bitch, he snarls. I'll kill you for this. Careful, I warn. Threats like that sound bad in court. And you're already facing what, 20 years? The door bursts open. Mother storms in, father trailing behind her. They freeze at the tableau. Me holding the phone, Michaela crying on the couch, Duncan's threats echoing through the speaker. What have you done? Mother whispers. I end the call, standing slowly. Exactly what you taught me. Looked after the family's interests. By destroying us? Father steps forward. Everything I built. Everything you built on lies, I correct him. On fraud and cruelty, and other people's money. My money. Your money. Mother laughs hysterically. You've never had anything. I pull out my phone, showing them the banking app. Their faces go slack at the number of zeros. Grandmother left everything to me, I explain. Every property, every investment. I've been propping up your lifestyle for years through shell companies and hidden loans. Until now. Why? Father's voice breaks. We're your family. Family, I laugh. Family doesn't throw someone out when their husband's in a coma. Family doesn't treat their daughter like a backup plan. Family doesn't... Sirens wail outside. Red and blue lights flash through the windows. That'll be for you, Duncan, I say into the phone. Still connected. The FBI traced your location. Michaela crumples further into the couch as mother sinks to her knees. Father just stands there, decades of arrogance draining from his face. Get out, I tell them quietly. All of you. Before I let them take you too. They file out silently, broken and humiliated. Through the window, I watch the FBI arrest Duncan in the street. Mother clutches father's arm as reporters appear, cameras flashing. My phone buzzes one last time. Clara. It's done. Everything's exposed. You won. I think of Lane, still waiting in his hospital bed. Of all the years they looked down on him, on us. Of every dismissive word and cruel action. No, I text back. We're not finished yet. The night air carries the sound of my family's empire crumbling, and for the first time in weeks, I smile. The auction of the family estate draws a crowd. I watch from my car as strangers pick through generations of Harvey history, carrying out antiques and artwork piece by piece. Mother's prized crystal collection sells for pennies on the dollar. Father's rare book library goes to a university archive. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing for days. Mother, please, we can fix this. Father, the board might reconsider if you intervene. Duncan's lawyer. My client wishes to discuss terms. Michaela, I'll tell everyone the truth. Just help me. I delete them all without reading further. The headline in today's paper says it all. Harvey Empire collapses, inside the scandal that shook the city. There's a photo of Duncan being led into court, and another of father leaving his final board meeting, aged decades in weeks. But I'm not reading any of it, because right now, Lane's hand is squeezing mine. Hey, beautiful, he whispers, voice rough from disuse. His eyes are open, really open, for the first time in months. Hey, yourself, I manage through tears. Welcome back. He looks around the hospital room, confusion crossing his face. How long? Almost 4 months. I help him sip some water. You miss some excitement. Tell me everything, he says. And I do. Every detail, every move, every consequence. His eyes widen at certain parts, but he doesn't interrupt. When I finish, he's quiet for a long moment. You did all that? For us? For you, I correct him. For every time they looked down on you. For every time they called you beneath them. He squeezes my hand again. Remind me never to cross you. The doctor comes in then, amazed at Lane's progress. While they talk, my phone lights up with a news alert. Michaela spotted in Mexico. Sources say she's agreed to testify against Duncan. Lane reads it over my shoulder. What happens to them now? Duncan's facing 20 years. Father's under house arrest pending trial. Mother's staying with her sister in Maine. The company's being sold off in pieces. And us? I kiss his forehead. We focus on getting you better. Everything else is already taken care of. A soft knock at the door. Rose enters carrying coffee and newspapers. You made the front page again, she says, spreading them out. Financial Times wants an interview, Clara adds, following behind Rose. They're calling you the hidden heir who sank an empire. Lane laughs weakly. My wife, the revolutionary. My phone buzzes again. Mother calling. For the first time in weeks, I answer. The auction, she says, voice breaking. They're selling your grandmother's portrait. I know. I bought it already. I pause. Along with the cottage you tried to take from us. Sophia, please. We're still family. No, Mother. We're just people who share DNA. You taught me that difference yourself. I hang up as Lane's doctor returns with good news. He can start physical therapy next week. There's a long road ahead, but he'll recover. I love you, I tell him once we're alone again. Even when you were sleeping, I never stopped fighting for us. My warrior, he smiles, touching my cheek. What do we do now? Through the window? I can see the city skyline, the same view my family once ruled over. Their names are being stripped from buildings, their influence evaporating like morning dew. Now we build something better, I say. Something real. My phone chimes with one last message from a journalist. Your story is inspiring. Would you consider sharing it? People should know the truth. I look at Lane, raising an eyebrow. He nods. Set up the interview, I text back. Rose grins. Going public at last? Why not? The truth was always going to come out. I settle beside Lane's bed, where I belong. Besides, someone needs to tell the story of how the mighty Harvey Empire really fell. And the moral of that story? Clara asks, smirking. I think of Mother's coldness, Father's dismissal, Duncan's cruelty, and Michaela's scheming. I think of every slight, every insult, every moment they thought I was nothing. Never underestimate the quiet ones, I say, watching Lane drift peacefully back to sleep. We're the ones who see everything. Outside, the sun sets on what's left of my family's legacy. Tomorrow, the papers will tell my story. But tonight, in this quiet room with the man I love finally awake, I've already won everything that matters. The empire is gone. Long live the truth. The autumn breeze carries the sound of construction across the grounds of the former Harvey estate. Where Father's pretentious mansion once stood, a new building takes shape. The Grace Foundation for Survivors of Family Abuse, named after my grandmother. She would have loved this, Rose says, watching the workers install floor-to-ceiling windows, using their own house to help people they look down on. Lane squeezes my hand, his grip stronger every day. Tell me about her again. Grandmother Grace was the only one who saw through them, I explain, leading him carefully along the pathway. His walking is steady now, though he still uses a cane. She left everything to me because she knew I'd use it right. My phone buzzes. A news alert about Duncan's sentencing tomorrow. I delete it without reading. He's already dead to me. Mrs. Norris? A young woman approaches, clutching a folder. I'm Sarah from the shelter program. We have 15 families ready to move in when construction finishes. Perfect. I smile, remembering how Mother would have sneered at Sarah's off-the-rack suit. Make sure they each get a full welcome package. And Sarah? Call me Sophia. Lane chuckles. Still can't believe you turned the pool house into a daycare center. Better used than hosting Mother's charity galas that helped nobody, I reply, watching children play where socialites once sipped champagne. Clara pulls up in her car, waving files. The last of the paperwork is ready. Once you sign, the foundation officially owns everything. Including the cottage? Lane asks. Especially the cottage, Clara confirms. Though I still think you should sell it. I shake my head. Some things are worth more than money. My phone rings. Michaela's number. She's been calling from Mexico, desperate to negotiate her return. I block the number permanently. Look what I found, Rose calls, emerging from the old garage. She's holding a photograph. My parents at some gala, posed and perfect and completely fake. Put it with the others, I tell her. We're donating the family photos to a business school's failed dynasty exhibition. A familiar car pulls up to the gate. Mother steps out. Thinner now, designer clothes replaced by simple slacks and a sweater. I heard about tomorrow's sentencing, she says, keeping her distance. Duncan asked to see you. Not interested. I turn back to the blueprint Sarah's showing me. He's still your brother. No, Lane speaks up, surprising everyone. Brothers don't try to destroy their sisters. Family doesn't hurt family. Mother flinches. The foundation, it's beautiful. Your grandmother would be proud. I know, I reply simply. Goodbye, Mother. She leaves quietly. No dramatics this time. The fight's gone out of her. Just like Father's arrogance crumbled in court. Just like Duncan's swagger vanished in handcuffs. Just like Michaela's polish peeled away in disgrace. The first residents move in next week, Sarah continues, professional despite the family drama. We've already got a waiting list for the counseling programs. I sign the final papers Clara's brought, officially transferring the last of the Harvey fortune to the foundation. Every penny they tried to take from me will now help others escape toxic families like mine. Ready to go home? Lane asks softly. Home. Our cottage, where we're building something real, where love matters more than legacy. Almost, I say, walking to the center of what used to be the grand foyer. The workers have preserved one thing, the marble floor with the Harvey family crest. I take out a chisel Clara brought and strike the first blow. The marble cracks satisfyingly. Want to help? I offer the chisel to Lane. He grins, taking it. Together, we break apart the symbol of everything that tried to break us. Rose joins in, then Sarah, then the construction workers. Soon the crest is rubble, ready to be repurposed into the foundation's new walkway. Now we can go home, I tell Lane, kissing him softly. My phone lights up one last time, a message from an unknown number. Your grandmother would be so proud. Love, Marcus. I smile, picturing Michaela's face when she realizes her ex-lover has resurfaced. Some karma delivers itself. What are you thinking? Lane asks as we walk to our car. I look back at the construction site, at the future rising from my family's ashes. I'm thinking about power. Real power isn't in names or money or status. What is it then? It's in knowing who you are, in choosing love over legacy, in building something meaningful from something broken. He squeezes my hand. Then you're the most powerful person I know. We drive home to our cottage, leaving the past behind. The foundation will help hundreds of families find their strength. And me? I found mine the day I stopped being a Harvey and started being myself. Sometimes the best revenge is living well, and sometimes it's using your enemy's weapons to build shelters for their victims.